Not this again. Come on, man.
All this week it's going to be. All this week. Hello.
It's another Co-Pilots podcast. Yeah, it's us. Woo.
The 19th, which, according to the gunslinger, is an evil number. I can't remember why.
That's cool, man.
I can't remember why, but he says, just pretend that 19 doesn't exist. And they're like, what? But, no, doesn't matter. Just go 18, 20. He goes, but what if I want 19 eggs? Doesn't matter. Have 18 plus 1.
Makes sense. Sort of. It doesn't at all.
What are we doing? Who are we doing? What? Who? Where?
Oh, us. We're talking about the TV shows on the list. You know the list.
Oh, the list.
Yes.
Is it written by Oscar Schindler?
It's not, luckily, because that would have been a much more depressing podcast.
Gutted.
Just going down the list, just
funny
learning.
I've never seen Schindler's List. I don't know if it's funny. I doubt it is.
I really doubt it is. It's just about a guy who makes lifts. I don't see why he's got a film. Anyway,
should we get off the Holocaust?
On to other things that were films.
Yeah.
Both of these shows.
Both of our shows today are based on films, and it's weird because
they're both like sequely to films as well.
They're kind of. It's weird though, isn't it? Because they're kind of sequely, but they're kind of remakes. Have you seen Limitless and Scream? By the way, it's Limitless.
I haven't seen Scream.
Okay, it's pretty similar to the first film.
Yeah, I got that feeling. It's not so much the same with Limitless, I think.
Yeah.
From what I've remember, but I suppose Scream's more up your street because it's a bit horror in inverted commas, because it's sort of too lighthearted to be scary.
That's what the whole point of Scream is, though. So, do you want to start on that one, or do you want to do Limitless first?
Yeah, we'll start with Scream because I've got it open.
No surprise to you, I really liked this.
I quite liked it as well. I thought it was better than I expected it to be.
Like, so the whole point of Scream is when it came out, it was a postmodern slasher thing. So it was self-referential. It knew that it was sort of playing with the genre, and it to the point where there's a scene where they describe the rules of a horror movie. Like, okay, don't have sex, don't go off alone, don't ever say "I'll be right back." It's fine. I'll just be 2 seconds and go away.
You mean like in this where the guy goes, "You can't make a slasher into a TV show."
I love that bit. I was like, okay, and then they start going, "Well, why not?" And he starts explaining, and it's like the writers are saying, "Look, this is the problems we've got, but we think we've solved them. If we don't kill everyone to start off with, and make you actually like them, then the deaths count for something." And I thought, do you know what? Fair play for doing that. I really enjoyed those moments where and it started riffing off, like when they were talking about the gothic genre. And he was just listing all these Netflix shows, and I was like, it's really cool.
Advertising.
I really liked it. Yeah, well, I suppose, yeah. It is produced by Netflix, is it?
Yes, we discovered that last time we were recording.
Hang on, the series is produced by Dimension Television and MTV Production Development. Well, it streams on Netflix anyway, so it doesn't matter. It's on Netflix. But yeah, it's really good. It starts off pretty much exactly as the first film does. Like, they do the whole scene where the girl at the start, she's on the phone to the killer, but of course, this being modern day, she's texting the guy, and he's like basically Snapchatting her videos of her walking around the house, which is something I saw in a film called Hush, which is also on Netflix, which is very, very good, and you should watch that because it's all about a home invasion movie, but the girl whose home is completely deaf, and that's really, really good.
That sounds really interesting.
It is. It's fucking awesome. And there's a film coming out later this year, like hopefully soon, I think, and it's called Don't Breathe, and that's about a guy, like these kids break into this guy's house because they.
I've seen a trailer for that. I think.
Yeah, and it's like he's a super ninja or something, and suddenly they're trapped in the house with it. It just looks really cool, and it's by the guy who did the Evil Dead remake, so I'm really looking forward to that. But yeah, what did you think of Scream?
I enjoyed it. It was quite light-hearted because I obviously not seeing the original. I was just like, oh, it's cool. It's like a horror-y sort of thing.
Yeah.
And like this delivered that apart from like the horror bit. I didn't think it's not scary, but it's
not horrific.
It's more like almost like a thriller, but maybe not a thriller. It's more just like I wonder who. It's a whodunit, really.
They have the conversation, don't they? So this is more of a whodunit, but not a whodunit, more of a why done it. And he's like, no, but I really like that guy. And when it looked like he was about to cark it, I was like, oh no, that's like he's the coolest one in this group, and they're gonna kill him in episode 1.
Yeah, I think they're setting him up to be one of the maybe it's him because of like the whole I love serial killers.
And especially the ending of the episode where he's like, oh, okay, so he's on the phone and he's wiping blood off his forehead. Oh, okay, well, I guess that maybe it's him, but, might not be. But yeah, I really liked that. There was another moment that I thought it was a little bit on the nose, but I thought, okay, fair enough, that's making a good point. It's like the main girl is, oh Christ, what's her name?
It's
Emma.
the daughter of Daisy.
Yeah. And she's on the phone, and he says something along the lines of, "Oh, I'm watching you," and she goes, I'm not really up for that. And he goes, that's what you want, though, isn't it? On Instagram and Facebook, this constant need for attention and everything. I was like, okay, fair enough. I like where this is going.
Yeah, it's quite interesting when a classic sort of something it's when they brought Sherlock into the modern day.
Yeah.
Just giving something like an update and you can use all the new elements to add to the story.
It can just really make it that much more relatable, can it?
Yeah, that's pretty much what I think what it's doing. Apart from the whole "I don't have a stalker," please.
Yeah, I know. I thought it was great. I really liked it, and there was a point where I think the teacher says, who thinks we should be sitting in the classroom discussing the Gothic genre? And I stuck my hand up. I was like, mate, I want to do that, please. I really want to do that.
Yeah, I like that it's sort of it's not really clear who the villains are, or is, or might be.
No, but I didn't see. I think I've only seen the first Scream. I've not seen 2 or 3 or 4.
Yeah, neither have I.
But I'm not sure how how much it matters.
I don't know. Is it a series, or are they just sort of copycat killer sort of things?
I don't know. I actually don't know. Because I've only seen the first one. I've not really, looked in into the sequels. But
yeah. Interestingly, to tie this back to the last podcast we did, the girl who plays Audrey, I think, is in Arrow as well.
Oh, is she? Who's she in Arrow?
She plays Sin in Arrow.
And who's Sin?
She's Arsenal's friend.
Who's Arsenal?
Ollie's daughter, sister's boyfriend.
Okay, cool.
And also Ollie's sidekick. And she's also Sarah's friend, who's Laurel's sister, who died on the boat.
Okay, yeah, I really liked that Audrey character. She was really cool.
Yeah, I like that it's sort of after the first episode, you're like, I wonder who. It could literally be all of them. Maybe it is all of them.
Maybe they're all dressing as Ghostface for the end.
Yeah, do you ever see The Mask?
Yeah, a couple of times.
In the first episode.
Yeah, it's slightly different. It's not like the classic Ghostface. I think it looks a bit more like the painting. Edvard Munch's The Scream, which is where I think the name came from, and that mask was designed based off that. So it's a bit more sort of, updated, less cartoony, I guess. The trouble I find with Scream is I find myself misremembering Scary Movie 2 as Scream. So there's entire scenes like, oh yeah, that bit where she has sex with the guy. Oh no, wait, hang on, that's that scary movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, as a horror fan, you know I am. This was amazing. I really, really liked it. Although I did struggle a bit where the matey boy, I can't remember his name. Is it Will? He's on the little island. Sorry, Noah, that's his name. He's on that little jetty thing on the lake, and he jumps in. That really got to me a little bit. Like, oh no, deep water. Not a big fan.
Yeah, I think, I don't know, part of the thing that I maybe didn't like so much is all the high school stuff. Because I
was thinking that, actually.
Because I don't really get American high schools and how they work and how they never seem to have to fucking go.
Yeah. Don't you find that, like, with all American TV shows, they never have to go to work and they've always got an amazing house?
Yeah, I mean, the house thing I get, because, like, America's massive and cheap. And, like, that's fine. They can all have huge houses. They're unnecessarily big and easy for killers to hide in.
Yes.
But, you know, just saying, you wouldn't catch... Like, it would be a struggle for a killer to hide in this house from me. Because I'd be like, he must be in one of the maybe 8 rooms. Rather than in one of the 8 acres of land I own.
That's true. But it would make for a very, very boring TV show if someone tried to kill you in your house, because it's like, where's he going to run to? I don't know. Probably upstairs. probably outside. Yeah.
Rather than like into like this plot of land that's surrounding my house to, I don't know, a residential street where someone might notice. Maybe to my neighbour who's not 40 miles away.
Yeah, but your neighbour wouldn't give a shit and just look at you. Oh, that ginger kid's about to die. About time.
Well, it would probably be her trying to murder me.
And then I'd turn up in a kayak. What else is there about Scream? It's been quite a while since I've actually seen Scream, but I can't remember whether or not the sort of the almost the Jason Voorhees figure they're talking about, the Brandon, what's his name? Brandon James.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if he's actually in the Scream movies, but I don't think he is. So
I'm starting to think maybe that was sort of added in to give it that sort of history to it, so that it's maybe it wasn't in the original script. Maybe they've, I guess, since discovered that sort of stuff. Like, you know, in a way that, like, years after crimes, the stuff surfaces after time. So maybe they've been putting this together over the period of time between the films, which is clearly a long time, because the daughter's, like, a grown-up.
Yeah.
So, must have been a while.
I don't know. Well, I don't know if it was explored in the movies, but do you know what? It's sort of just taken as read, isn't it? That you know that there's this town has had
something, and something more to it as well.
Yeah. And I do like the whole. So I'm Daisy, and I haven't told anyone that I was the one that he loved, and
yeah, and the whole like. Whoever's doing it is trying to set out to look like the same guy's doing it.
Yeah.
With the whole, like, sending the package, the heart in a box and stuff.
Yeah, I did wonder whose heart that was. Because by that point...
I think it's just an animal heart, isn't it?
Oh, is it? It was quite big, thinking about it. It's probably too big to be a human heart, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, what was good is that I always thought Scream was a bit of sort of, like, it is that sort of border between, like a comedy, like, it's just a dark comedy.
Yeah.
It's what I thought, and this does capture that quite well, I think.
Yeah, there are moments where I laughed.
Yeah, I think some of the jokes and stuff are maybe a bit lost on us as British people.
Oh, really?
Well, I think, like, and if, like, a lot of references to, like, American culture we probably wouldn't, like, we recognise but not maybe understand.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's probably a fair, not assumption, a fair point to. But yeah, so I reckon I'm going to carry on with this. Once I've finished Hannibal, Series 2 of... well, actually then I've got to do Series 3 of Hannibal because I'll probably be addicted. But then I do really want to carry on watching this. So I really like it.
Might. I'm not sure. I think like it was good fun.
Yeah, definitely. It's a lot more sort of... it's a more fun show. It's quite light-hearted. And the scenes when Noah's just discussing, you know, serial killers of the horror genre or the way that films and TV go down, I really like those sequences. They're amazing telly.
Yeah, wasn't there a scene where he was like that was cut into where he was explaining the story and it was cut in to like a sort of live action with him voicing it over? Or am I making that up?
What do you mean?
Is that a thing that happened? Where he was describing the original murders and stuff, and then there was like it was just him narrating.
Yeah. There was like a flashback to Brandon James. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just reading the cast for Scream 2.
Isn't what's her chops? Courtney Cox is in it, isn't she?
Yeah, and Sarah Michelle Gellar.
What?
And Jada Pinkett Smith.
Really?
Yeah, and Liev Schreiber as well.
Oh man, I have the Scream box set sat as it happens in my bathroom because it's in a box of stuff that's either to be thrown out or is going to move to my new flat. So I might have to go and dig them out after this.
At some point when we're next together, we should watch those.
Yeah, definitely. I'll be up for that. Okay, I'll go and rescue that box set before it gets thrown out.
Good.
Should we shift on over?
Yes.
To Limitless.
Yeah, to the other thing that meant we should have watched a film before. Because have you seen Limitless?
Yeah, and I saw it not that long ago, actually. I think probably second half of last year was the first time I watched it.
That's good then. So you had at least some idea of what was going on.
Yeah, and that's, you know... But although, if you don't... that's another thing that these shows do, is if you don't know, like, the originals, it doesn't really matter, because it's...
Yeah, it doesn't put you at a disadvantage at all.
Yeah, Limitless then. What do you reckon?
I liked it more than I thought I was going to.
Yeah, me too. I've got to say, this week we've picked a couple of really decent shows, which is quite nice.
When I put together a list, I was like, they're both films, and I personally was just like, they're both not going to be very good.
Yeah, that's what
I really didn't think they'd be that good. But they've both been surprising.
Yeah, definitely.
Like this one, this doesn't follow. It follows a new character who's in the same sort of situation I think that Bradley Cooper was in the film.
Yeah, no, it's identical. It's I'm trying to be a creative type and write this book / have this band. I'm struggling to make ends meet doing this career that I want to take off and not have to get a boring job.
But then I think that's where the split is. I
don't know, because the whole sequence where Brian goes in and he finds the dead people and the police come in as he's finding the body, that's all done in the film as well.
But I think that's where the split is, because I think Bradley Cooper's character ends up on the other side of the law, whereas like Brian just gets sort of caught and is then...
I'll help. Don't worry, I'll help.
And then becomes the drugged up like rollout for the FBI when they need a bit of help.
Yeah, well, it's a good concept of where to take it. I'm not sure it needed it.
I mean, it's not gonna go much further than these first 22 episodes, but
well, it was cancelled after the first series.
Yeah, so it's not gonna go that far.
No, is it a shame? I don't know, but yeah, it happens, doesn't it? So yeah, there's a drug called NZT48, and it basically just unlocks the full potential of the human brain and gives its user enhanced mental faculties. So, you know, you can do...
But only for 12 hours before you start suffering horrible withdrawal side effects.
Unless you're Bradley Cooper, who has a thing that makes you go, hey, this is a plot device, stick it in your neck, and that doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah, which is cool. But then I think that somehow indebts him to Bradley Cooper, who is now running for president, because, you know, NZT makes you cray.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that at the end of the film, though, he's saying, oh, I am not on that drug anymore. I've got to the point where I'm going to run for Senate. And I
think he then runs for Senate and then is just like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and I will take this pill and get smart.
But I guess maybe at the end of the film he's like, oh yeah, I'm not on the drug anymore. But whether or not he's on the drug is irrelevant because he still has the capabilities. But then in the TV show he says, oh, I've been taking NZT every day for the last 4 years or however long he says it is.
Yeah. But it's quite cool. I'll admit I've watched a couple episodes on.
Oh, yeah.
So I've sort of seen where it starts to go, and it does fall into that sort of like, it's a detective. You know, remember Blind Spot?
Yes, vaguely. That was a long time ago now.
I know. Sort of like that, where they've got like someone they can roll out when they need to, but they don't fully trust them.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, yeah, it makes for a good sort of, you know, a police procedural where one of them's got super abilities. It's kind of, you know, it's not entirely original, is it? I mean, we've got Sherlock for that sort of thing. And isn't Numbers, or there's that show? That
Numbers is very similar to this.
Yeah.
In that, the guy is just like a maths prodigal who gets rolled out whenever they need help.
Yeah.
This does it in a more fun way. It makes him, like, every time they sort of try and go like, okay, you go in this room and you do all the figuring out, and we'll, like, go out and do all the stuff. And then every time they leave him alone in that room, he breaks out. In, like, sort of almost new and inventive ways.
Okay. That's cool.
Yeah. It's fun. Again, like Scream was, it's just a pretty fun film.
Yeah.
Show to watch.
I definitely enjoyed it. Like, you know, sometimes when we've been doing this, I've just been counting down the minutes till the episode ends. But for both of these, I've been like, oh, this is really cool. Like, there's some really good things going on here. And I think Limitless, I was less excited about, but I was more surprised by. Cause,
I wasn't really sure where it was going to go afterwards. Because obviously in the trailer for it, you see Bradley Cooper's characters there, and you're like, oh, we're just going to... Bradley Cooper's a bit good for TV, isn't he? Like, it's not going to be about him, is it?
Well, that's sort of what I thought. I thought it was entirely about him. So then I was really surprised when this other guy shows up, Brian. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I guess we'll do his story then.
What I think about the film and the TV show is how the camera seems to brighten up as soon as they take NZT.
Yeah, well, it's like after a few seconds, isn't it? It just the sort of the colours heighten.
Yeah, and I quite like that.
Yeah, it's a nice little.
I think it's a nice way to know what's going on without it needing to be shown. And the X-ray of the swallowing the pill thing is quite cool.
Yeah, that I did really like.
I'm finding the more we do this podcast, the more I find that it's really like the little things that I really appreciate. Like, as long as the whole concept and story and stuff is good, and then I really appreciate the really small things, like just little, like a shot like that.
Yeah.
Like a little bit of extra colour. I love me some colour.
Yeah, no, I get what you mean. Like, like I was saying with Scream, like if anything references like other horror films and things like that, I just, that's fine. That's one of those little things that I really like.
Yeah, it's a shame we haven't done many more horror things for you, have we?
No, because I'm not sure that. Well,
it's not really the right medium for horror.
Well, yeah, that's the argument that's put across in Scream, isn't it? I think it can be, because I think Hannibal's probably the best horror show there is. Because I feel like Walking Dead is a soap opera with zombies at points. Like it does have its horrific moments, and of course we love it to pieces, but I don't think it's particularly horrific. But maybe that's born of the fact that because they're killing zombies every episode, you're sort of overexposed to the whole, the gore. It's like when Daryl takes them all out with the chain, that sort of thing. That's cool, but it's like, it's sort of everyday stuff.
Yeah, I think I find the more horrific stuff in when, like, with serial killers and that sort of thing. Just because it's like, it's not so obvious as to why.
Yeah.
I like that whole, almost like Walter's descent into madness and Breaking Bad. Like, anything like that, and I'm just like, oh man, that's... Like, because anything that could genuinely happen, I think scares me a bit more than zombies.
Yeah.
But zombies are cool. I like zombies. But I think there's something more interesting about, like, psychopathy, I think, and stuff.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm steadily becoming to realise, like through watching Hannibal, which does have its hugely fantastical elements, like when Will has the visions of the Wendigo and the feathered stag and all that sort of thing. But oh man, that show. But that's what the really horrific stuff is, like when they discover the bodies up in some sort of display, and that is really horrible. But yeah, that
maybe we'll have to sort of try and find some more horror things to see if maybe something can be done with TV shows. Yeah. So I always find that, like, a lot of horror is based on suspense. Yeah. And suspense is hard to keep going in a TV show.
Well, I feel like some...
From episode to episode, I think.
Yeah. I think some do it quite well. Like, this sounds bizarre, but one of the most horrific things I remember seeing on TV, with sort of the attitude of, with TV you've got a bit longer to explore it, is in Torchwood, where I think it's the end of series 2, where you realise that Jack has been buried for, it's something like hundreds of years, and then they're just standing on the spot where he was buried. That really, really made me shiver. So I think maybe if you focused the horror on something that was more horrific the longer it went on, then I think that's probably a rich vein. So if someone disappears in, I don't know, episode 6 or something, and you don't bring them back for a couple of seasons, like what they did with Merle, I guess.
Yeah.
Walking Dead.
I think so. You treat, like, the off-camera as
the horror happens. The horrific things happen off camera, like they do in Hannibal. To be fair, because you very rarely see the murders taking place, and if you do, it's because Will's recreating them. So I think that's it's far more horrific if you have to imagine, oh Jesus, so how did he do that? He would have had to have done this, and then that just makes it.
That's always, I think, something that I've always found is that the more gore you add to a film, the more you take away from its horror factor.
Yeah,
because the more you show, like, your imagination is so much worse than anything you can show me.
Yeah, definitely. That's why I think It Follows was such a great horror film, because literally the monster is just a person that just walks, but they do some really horrific stuff with them.
Yeah, it's why, like, not Scream, like the Saw films to me aren't horror. No, they're just really, like something different. They're just the Saw films. And, like, anything that explicitly shows that level of gore is just like it's not even scary, it's just a bit uncomfortable. And I'm just like, I'd rather not watch that.
Yeah, I don't mind a nice bit of grisly gore, but I think those films did just overdo it quite a lot with 7 films. I mean, the first one was good, but anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, Limitless.
But then back to the sci-fi comedy that is Limitless. I mean, I have watched, like, the first 3 episodes, and I think I might maybe just finish the season because there's no more. Yeah, I mean, if it doesn't get really shit,
I think it would be cool if they started doing it like X-Files and did it sort of case of the week. Like, so each week there's, like, different cases that they've got on the bench.
I think that's what they end up doing.
Oh, is it?
Because that's what they've done for the next 2 episodes.
Oh right, okay, yeah, that.
And I think all the
works
stuff
really
with Bradley Cooper is going to be like an overarching sort of background thing.
Yeah.
With the detective work being at the forefront.
That's
and
cool.
I like me a detective show. I do.
Yeah, so do I. I'm starting to think I want to watch some more like police procedural things, like detective shows. I really want a decent detective game, because LA Noire is just a bit but I can't.
Well, that Sherlock board game that we played was awesome. I want to play a game like that.
Yeah, if they make that a video game.
There's some cool detective stuff in Syndicate, but it's a lot of just running around.
Yeah.
And then not being able to figure out who the culprit is, and then just blindly accusing people and just going until you get the right one. And also committing brutal murders on your way round.
As any good detective does.
It's true.
So, okay, Scream. Do you think you're going to continue?
It might be one of those things that I'll continue when I've run out of things to watch, or just feel like I'm trying to remember what's happening with it. And
Limitless.
what about you? Oh, you've already said Scream, haven't you?
Scream,
you will.
I will definitely carry on with at some point once I've got Hannibal. I don't think there's anything because I do really want to get on with Preacher, and I do want to watch Vikings, and I do want to watch Black Sails, and I know you've got the DVDs.
Oh fuck, Black Sails!
And I really want to watch Scream, and Lisa and I have got the X-Files box set as well that we're going to start once we move in. And there's just not enough time for this telly. And my dad's just turned up with a kayak.
Most excellent.
Yeah, so Limitless, do you think you'll...
Limitless, I probably will until I get bored of it.
Yeah.
I think it's something that...
I've got to be honest, while I was watching it, I was thinking, yeah, this is definitely Richard's kind of show. I could really see you liking it.
I think it'll get to a point that I'll just be like, okay, cool. And then I'll be done with it.
Yeah, well...
But I'm willing to see that out, I think.
I think it's a cool idea. Okay, unless you've got anything to add, I think that's it for episode 19 of the Co-Pilot podcast. Oh, I just saw you tick the little thing across.
We're done. Yeah, the we're done box.
So, next time on
the Co-Pilot podcast.
What are we talking about? We're talking about
Whitechapel
and Ripper Street. Are they both based on Jack the Ripper-ish?
I thought that. I don't think Ripper Street is.
Oh.
I think it's based in Jack the Ripper's time period.
Okay,
but Whitechapel is based in Whitechapel, but in modern day.
Ah, that's going to be interesting. Okay, I'm looking forward to watching these, because you've been going on about one or t'other of them for a while.
It's Whitechapel I've been going on about.
Yeah, that's it.
I really like it.
Is that
And
one
it's
with
got...
Rupert Penry Jones in it?
Yes.
He lives very close to where I live, I believe. My mum's seen him in the co-op a few times.
Nice.
Yeah, and apparently he's a nice chap. So yeah,
I don't doubt it.
Looking forward to watching those and then reporting our findings back.
That we will.
So,
I think Ripper Street has a spook in it as well.
Oh really?
And yeah, it's got a spook. It's got Matthew McFadden.
Mind you, if you're doing
and Jerome Flynn from Game of Thrones fame.
If you're doing a BBC drama, chances are you'll get someone from Spooks in it, because there are so many people in it, because they killed so many characters.
I know, but these both have they have the first 2 team leaders of Spooks.
Okay.
Who shared some episodes.
Oh, fair enough. I've just read the first line of the synopsis, and I'm really looking forward to this now.
Which one, Ripper Street or Whitechapel?
Ripper Street. I've just read the thing too. So. Okay, so
yeah.
that will do us.
I think you'll like them. I think we'll like them.
I hope so. I think
but
we're done for episode 19. Sorry, I keep interrupting you and trying to finish the.
It's fine. I was about to just end the podcast.
Oh, you were just bye.
Yeah, just like, oh fuck you, I'm off.
All right, cool. We'll see you next time for episode 20.
20.
Bloody hell, 20. That's really cool.
Jesus.
Right.
Bye.
See you later. Bye.